ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇದೀಗ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಭಾರತಿ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಾಹಕ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಶಶಿಶೇಖರ್ ವೆಂಪತಿ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಭಾರತಿಯ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಯೋಜನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಜಿಟಲೀಕರಣ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಕುರಿತು ಡಿಡಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗೆ ನೀಡಿರುವ ಸಂದರ್ಶನ ಪ್ರಸಾರವಾಗಲಿದೆ.
Prasar Bharati is all set to roll out a new era in broadcasting reforms. The advancement of satellite technology has put broadcasting sector on a new path. India's national broadcaster, Prasar Bharati, is making all efforts to integrate technology and content in new formats. Doordarshan and All India Radio is on the threshold of rewriting their golden history. But on the other hand, there are few concerns, there are few questions, and they require some clarity. Of course, when there is a change, there are concerns, there are questions raised. Now, seeking more clarity on this entire reforms and the sector moving into a new level of digitization, to talk more about this, I have with me the CEO of Prasar Bharati, Shashisekhar Vempati, who himself is a technocrat and knows the technology best. So welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome initiative on the part of DD News to have me on. So very happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. So this is a cutting edge technology, and we are in a digital era, and technology is changing minute by minute. And in this scenario, what are the challenges before you to put Prasar Bharati or Doordarshan and All India Radio as the leaders in the broadcast sector?
See, the way media is consumed has drastically and dramatically changed in the last few years. When we were all growing up, we all had, one TV channel, and you had to have a rooftop antenna to watch that TV channel, and it didn't air 24/7. It only broadcast for a few hours during the day. And then, of course, you had the radio transistors. You would tune into them on medium wave or short wave to listen to radio broadcasts. So that was the world that we grew up in, and the only source of daily information apart from these two were the newspapers, right? From that era, now we have moved to a very different era where increasingly media consumption is happening on smartphones, smart devices. Nobody is watching the broadcast when it happens on live TV, but many more of them watch it on demand, either through YouTube or maybe clips that are shared on WhatsApp. So the way people are receiving information, the way news is being consumed has changed. It has become more and more personalized, more and more real time, and more on demand. And so that is the challenge to the public broadcaster, to Doordarshan and All India Radio. How do we adapt to this new world? So it's very important that we phase out obsolete modes of broadcasting. We phase out, the old ways of doing things, and we embrace new technologies and new ways of doing things. And I think that is the change, that is the challenge that is ahead of us right now.
Well, very interesting. So when we talk about phasing out the obsolete technology, we're talking about technology, analog transmitter systems. So there are millions of viewers. Doordarshan and All India Radio has listeners, and who have been, watching Doordarshan and listening to All India Radio. How do you explain to people, who don't understand our terms? How do you explain to them in layman's language? And how do you explain to your neighbor, or how do I tell my neighbor that Doordarshan is changing, All India Radio is changing, the new technology is coming? How do you put this?
Sure, I think it's very important for everyone to understand this. As I was just mentioning, earlier Doordarshan used to be available through rooftop antennas. But now, since the 1990s, the scenario has changed. Television viewing is happening through cable, through satellite dish, set-top boxes, through OTT platforms, and so on. Today, there is hardly any home where you will find a rooftop antenna. But we still were operating all these analog terrestrial transmitters because, they required, the rooftop antennas required that system. But now that everyone is on cable you can watch hundreds of channels. For example, India has more than 900 TV channels, right? On dish satellite set-top boxes, you have several options. For example, Doordarshan operates the DD Free Dish DTH system. where you can get more than 100 TV channels and more than 50 educational channels, right? So in that scenario, there is no longer a need for the old rooftop system where you could only get one TV channel or two TV channels at the most. So that system has become obsolete, and that is why it is being phased out. And so now, anywhere in India, if you want to watch Doordarshan or any of the other private channels free to air, you can get a DD Free Dish set-top box from the open market, and it's a one-time cost for a few hundred rupees or maybe little more than 1,000 rupees, and you will get hundreds of channels. And what is more is that there is no monthly fee, there is no subscription fee, right? So this option is available. So that is a big change over India, and we only see that growing further in the days to come, especially with all the educational channels that we have. It's a very unique thing. No other cable or dish system offers 50 educational channels, and so that's a very unique offering that Doordarshan has put together. So that is the change that has happened. So hence we no longer need the old analog terrestrial transmitters. Now we have Free Dish. Now we have News on Air app. We have content available on YouTube. People can watch anytime on their mobile phones. So that is the big change that Doordarshan is seeing, and that is the reason why the changes are happening. And also it is important to remember that these analog terrestrial TV transmitters were requiring hundreds of crores of money in electricity power consumption. So that will be saved. And so those savings will now be available for us to develop new content, high quality content, and to upgrade our digital tools and digital systems. So that is the direction in which we are moving.
Very interesting, sir. You have a vision for changing the entire setup and to digitize to bring in the new technology. But there were reports in media also, some time back, that the small centers, the stations are going to shut down, and there will be no longer relay from these stations. What will happen to these stations? Because, for example, in Bangalore, in Karnataka, Kalburgi station is one of the oldest station, perhaps started in 1960s. And there were a lot of concerns that this station will shut down. There was a lot of propaganda, doing rounds that the Doordarshan is shutting down the transmitters and the All India radio station. So how do you, clarify this, their fears that these stations will continue? And also another question that was in the minds of the people is that the Doordarshan is trying to bring in the Delhi content, through these small centers. How do you explain to them? How do you clarify this?
So let me explain. I think people are mixing up the transmitters with the kendras. There is no change as far as Doordarshan Kalburgi is concerned. Doordarshan in Kalburgi the studios of Doordarshan in Kalburgi will continue to operate. They will continue to originate content which is locally relevant to the people of Kalburgi and that region. And that content will continue to be available through the DD Chandana satellite TV channel. And since DD Chandana is a satellite TV channel that's available across India, the content of Kalburgi will not only be viewed just in Karnataka, but anywhere in India, anybody who's interested can watch it. What is more, because we also put the same content on YouTube as well, and DD Chandana is one of the first regional channels of ours, non-Hindi channels, which has 1 million+ subscriber base. Very proud of the fact of the work that they've done. So all of this content will also be available digitally, right? So there is no change as far as content is concerned. What is being changed is the old analog TV transmitters, because nobody's watching Doordarshan through rooftop antennas. So that is what is being closed, not the content generation facility. So I would appeal to everyone, especially the media in Karnataka, not to mix up these two issues and create an unnecessary controversy, unnecessary panic. The content of Kalburgi, content of any of the other Doordarshan Kendras will continue to be generated by their studios, and that content will be carried in the regional satellite channels for those states. And the same content will also be available through all digital modes, be it through YouTube, be it through social media clippings, News on Air app, and so on. So there's no change in that.
Concern about the radio channel Amrita Varshini, which was started some time back, especially to promote the regional music through this radio channel. So there were also doubts that this is going to be shut down.
No,
So how,
I think
how
yeah. What has happened here is that we had two classical music radio services out of Bangalore. One was Amrutavashini and one was Ragam. And because Ragam is a well-known brand internationally, it has gotten a lot of audience. We have merged the two into a single brand, single service. That doesn't mean the programs that were unique to Amrutavashini are being scrapped or will no longer be aired. That is not true. So Ragam will continue to carry that content. It will carry the unique content of Amrutavarshini. It will carry other classical music content, from all the different contributing stations. So that will continue. And Akashvani Bengaluru, be it Akashvani Mysore or any other Akashvani station, they have a well-defined system by which local artists are given opportunities. They are auditioned, they are graded, they are offered, to participate in various classical music concerts, recordings, Akashvani Sangeet Sammelan, and so on. So all of that will continue. There is no change in that system.
So the content
Local artists will continue to get their opportunities, and AR Bengaluru will continue to do that. And similarly, other radio stations will do that. All that has happened is that we had two classical music services. It doesn't make sense for an organization like ours, which has limited resources, to fragment our capabilities into multiple channels and multiple services. So hence some streamlining was necessary. So all that has happened is that instead of two classical services, there is going to be one classical service, but the content will continue to be carried by that classical service, and it will not only have a local audience in Bengaluru, it will have a national audience through the Ragam 24/7 radio channel, which is available on digital radio, it is available on satellite radio, and it is available on internet streaming through News on Air app globally. In fact, it is quite popular globally. We've seen that in the monthly rankings that we publish. So nobody should be concerned that classical music is going to be not carried or not broadcast. No, that's not true. In fact, what we are now doing is giving it a global platform, so local artists can perform, have their content carried by this classical music service, and have a global audience.
So definitely this will promote cross culture, and also there will be a better exchange of programs between the kendras and the stations. Obviously, as you said, it's very clear that the stations and the kendras will not be shutting down, but the mode, the format is going to be different. So there is no need to panic. So are you fighting fake news, sir?
I think it's
every day there is a propaganda.
Absolutely,
is this a fake news?
Yes, absolutely. I think that is the challenge of the digital era that we are in, that modes of communications have changed. Instantaneously, information is transmitted through WhatsApp, through Twitter, and so on. At the same time, I would also appreciate all the feedback that we get, because earlier in the previous era, if some mistake was happening in, let's say, Akashvani in Mangalore or Akashvani in Dharwad, there was no way for us to know. But now, thanks to the internet, thanks to digital communications and social media, not only can we listen to the content that is being aired, but if there is a mistake or if something is going wrong, the instantaneous listener feedback or viewer feedback on Twitter, on social media, alerts us that something is wrong, you need to correct it, you need to fix it. Right? And so it is putting us on our toes, it is helping us improve our content. And for the first time, it is bringing accountability, because otherwise broadcast was a one-way medium. You would just broadcast and forget. But now, no, you have to listen to, what is the reaction, what is the feedback, and that feedback and reaction is not delayed. It is not offline. Now it is real time, it is online. And so that is a new era. And I think the public broadcaster, like every other media company, has to be responsive to the listeners. So we fully appreciate the feedback. And we fully respect the local content, the local diversity. But it is important to remember that the public broadcaster has limited resources. So we have to be smart about how we use these resources. We have to use them optimally. And hence some streamlining is necessary. And that is the steps that we're taking. And I think it's important for everyone to understand, why this is being done.
Right. So besides the viewers and listeners, there are some concerns among the staff as well. Because when they read news in media, and when they hear the social media circulated messages, there is some kind of fear among them about losing their jobs. about adapting to the new technology. So what is the plan for them? What is the vision for the people already working in these centers? Because you have a huge pool of human resource also. So how do you look to utilize their services, and what is the way of rationalizing this entire setup?
Sure. So we will, need people to, get rescaled, upgrade their skills, become more digitally savvy. And we're already doing it in our personal lives, right?
Yes.
People who, had no idea of computer science or internet are today using WhatsApp without a blink, are using, Paytm to make payments, are using internet banking, right? So we have become digital savvy in our personal life. So, so there should be no barriers for us to be digital savvy in our professional life as well. So I would urge, all the staff that, please embrace the new skills so that we can, do a lot more content innovation. Because unless we innovate our content, because when we were growing up, Doordarshan and All India Radio were the only media, mass
Right.
media,
Absolutely.
right? So our generation had a very strong connect with them. But today's generation are, born into a world where there are thousands of channels, and tens of thousands of content available digitally, right? So in that scenario, how do you create a connect with Doordarshan, a connect with All India Radio? It's very important that we innovate, and our content innovation requires new skills and new tools. So I would urge everyone to, embrace these new technologies, new tools, think innovatively and how they can contribute. I'll give one example. Akashvani Imphal in Manipur. I mean, the amount of digital innovation that has come out of that one station is just incredible. It has views in the hundreds of thousands for radio dramas. They have a very vibrant young team which has, engaged with audiences through the digital media and created a digital footprint for radio services. So that is the kind of innovation we are looking at, right? So if Imphal can do it, why can't Bengaluru do it, or why can't Dharwad do it? Especially given Karnataka being the IT capital of the country.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is a challenge for us, and that is a challenge for every one of our workforces.
What's the timeline you have for making these changes rationalized and acceptable in phased level?
The timeline, I think it's a continuous process. I wouldn't put any specific timeline to it because many changes have already happened, right? Like for example,
right.
During the lockdown, because we were able to embrace e-office and because we were able to bring in a lot of IT into our environment, we were able to deal with the lockdown. We were able to deal with the limitations of COVID-19, right? So a lot of changes have already happened, and it's a continuous process, and it will continue over the next few years. One of the big concerns we have is that our workforce is graying. We have several of our staff who are retiring. So we need the younger generation to step up, take more responsibility. We are also working on policies to infuse fresh talent, new talent. So that will also be rolled out soon. So combination of all this, I think will create the public broadcaster of the future.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. So during lockdown, we adapted to technology so well that even the live telecast was happening on Zoom. So I mean, I guess what your plan and your vision is will integrate slowly in the system. But sir, I would like to ask you, like the way radio, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Man Ki Baat changed the listening habits across the country, and radio gained a new importance in the lives of people because people brought out radios, dusting out their old radio systems, transistors. So now in this changed scenario where radio is an important tool of mass communication, is using it to maximum extent to reach out to people in rural areas. What vision do you have, to bring out more reforms in radio transmissions and other reforming the stations across the country?
I think that's a very important question. So several things have already been done. For example, we've put radio on satellite. So you have more than 40 radio channels available on Free Dish, and you can listen to them anywhere in India. We put more than 200 radio streams on the News on Air app. You can listen to it anywhere in the world. It's a very unique app. No other app I know of has 200 live radio streams available to you from any one broadcaster. So those are steps that we've taken. But we need to go further, right? Old analog terrestrial broadcasting, even on the radio side, is again diminishing in its audience base. So we are looking at new technologies, digital radio, for example. We have about 35 to 40 digital radio transmitters all over India, which are based on a technology called DRM. Using that, you can listen to more than one radio service, up to 3 radio services on one frequency. In fact, I would urge all those, especially those who may have purchased cars in recent years, quite likely that you have a digital radio set in your car.
Absolutely.
So you should try it out. You should check it out. Especially we have the World Cup coming up, where live commentary will be carried on it. So that is one innovation that we are working on. Second is visual radio. When the 2019 World Cup happened, we had for the first time brought a camera to the radio studio. So you could not only listen to the radio commentary, you could actually look at the commentators. You knew who were the faces behind the voices and so on.
Yeah.
Similarly, when Vivid Bharati had its anniversary earlier this month, they had a visual radio setup where the entire broadcast that day was visually enhanced. We've taken iconic content like Ramcharitmanas, etc., and made it visually enriched for television and for digital viewing. So that's another kind of innovation of radio that's happening. So there are several such content innovation initiatives, new technology initiatives, so that the radio continues to play an important role as a public broadcast medium, and that will only increase in the times to come. And radio being very unique in its ability to provide local content, local news, offer a platform to local voices. That role of radio will not diminish. That will continue.
Absolutely.
And so that I want to make it absolutely clear that no station is being shut anywhere. Yes, we will streamline our services, and streamlining is important so that there is no wasteful expenditure. And more importantly, we invest in the content and we improve the content's quality. Because today we are trying to do too many things, and we are not, and the result, our quality of the content is marginal. But if we do fewer things and we do them well, everyone will appreciate. The impact of that content will be very high, and that content will again, just like when we were growing up, we remember the old serials, we remember the old radio programs. In the same manner, this impactful content, this iconic content that we create now will be remembered decades from now. So that is our goal, that is our objective.
Thank you very much, sir. Your clarity, the answers that you gave us and has provided clarity, and also perhaps that puts to rest the propaganda or the misinterpretation that is going around with regard to the fact that the stations will be shut. And it's very clear that you have made it very clear the stations are not going to shut. It is going to be reformatted, and the transmission process will be changed, but the content will remain the same. Thank you very much for talking to us, and hope people will stay tuned to our programs in the new format as well. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.